go. And we have to prepare for our next move.
Well, I think the huge piece is that what you said is that it's not a Title IX box to check anymore. It is a really wise business venture that is worth investing in.
Right.
And I don't think for instance, the TV deal that happened, well, you're not going to get any different treatment on campus if, let's say, the men, you get all this reward financially for the men going far in the NCAA tournament because their TV deal is totally different. So they're able to have a unit distribution that promotes the growth of that sport and protecting that. Right. But now we're at a point where our viewership is up, the ad business, and for the first time ever, internet, brand marketing deals are higher than, that's the tipping point, than the traditional ad space on TV. And women are killing in that space.
Killing.
And so all those things surrounding, it's time that we go back and go, okay, wait, the landscape has changed here. What do we have to do to continue to invest in the sport? Not out of a charity, because it is earned the right to be a really good investment. And until we do that, you're putting universities who are under incredible pressure with all of the changes that we've had, that they're not going to have the same commitment to continue to grow the sport and uplift it because there's not the infrastructure that rewards them for doing so.
Today's price is not yesterday's price.
Amen.
It's going up.
Even with me being a professional athlete and play basketball, I have to admit, I watch women's basketball in the last 3 years more than I watch NBA or anything.
And college too. It's college basketball too.
College basketball,
there's an excitement around the W, but to me, at the college, there's nothing better. And you guys have kind of stolen the crown from the men's. Like the women's tournament is must watch, and the numbers don't lie. The numbers say it too.
Yep.
Coach Close, you've been the head coach at UCLA for 15 years now. Historically great men's program. Coming off the heels of what you guys accomplished last year, the excitement around campus. I've got a chance to go to your guys' game and the men's game, and your guys' shit is jumping. Like, did you ever think it would, obviously the goal was to get here, but now that you're here with the excitement and having everyone behind you, how does that feel?
Amazing. I think especially in LA, where everyone said, oh, you can't do it in LA. There's too much to compete with, or those kinds of things. Even, credit to even our rivals across town to have two of the best teams in the country right there, committed to growing the sport in LA at the same time. It's been really fun. But I don't think, this, I just love basketball. And I want this, there's sometimes a sense of, as women's basketball grows, we're trying to take something away from men's basketball. No, we're not. We love the game. And so to celebrate that in light of the history of what we walk in UCLA, there's a great humility for me every time I walk down the hallway of our games. And I see your picture up, I see the banners up, I see all the different people that blaze the trail that I get to walk in. Right. And so it's very humbling, but really exciting. And I feel a great sense of responsibility to continue to pour in, to invest in the women, and to leave it better than I found it.
Anybody that thinks women's basketball evolving and going up is taken away from men's anything is a moron. 100% moron.
Well, I think we live
basketball.
We live in a society now where everyone wants you to choose when multiple things can be true.
Right.
And multiple things can be entertaining. NIL, agents, kids, marketing, making hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars. Coach Vic, I want you to take this one. What has it been like coaching and recruiting?
His payroll.
It's heavy.
Payroll, so I can go back to my AD.
It's heavy, huh? But how has it changed? Obviously, you guys have all been in this game for a long time, whether it be playing first and now coaching. But just the simplicity of recruiting now, I'm sure has changed, and how you have to coach. I coach AAU high school boys, and it's just the way I used to get yelled and cussed at, and it was, you had to take it. Now, if you do that, they're out of here. So how have you guys just kind of changed your overall philosophy while still keeping your morals and principles and the right stuff you still need, no matter if these kids want to hear it or not?
There's a lot in that question.
Go ahead, Vic.
Yeah. Well, let's be honest. We're pro coaches now.
Yep.
I mean, whether we want to be or not, it's still not something I'm real comfortable with at all, because it's just something that we didn't do for so many years, and now all of a sudden you talk about numbers to recruits. I think one of the things that y'all might not be aware of that would just shock you is what a kid might think they're worth. They played somewhere 1 year, played 5 minutes a game and averaged 2 points a game, and
they're asking
okay,
price.
I got to have that position. Let me check on them and see. And you're just astonished at what the number is. Like it would blow you away. Like really. Like but I have a GM. You know, I have a business lady in town that's created her own business, sold it. She's retired. She serves on 3 national boards all over the country. That's her job. So she spends a lot of time with me, and, you know, we all have a salary cap. I mean, we're all here because we're trying to increase our cap, right, at the event we're in. And but it's, I mean, we are literally having to manage, and it's dictating. And I tell my administration this. You want to tell your administration something? Look, if we can't get that person because of the number, well, then you need to tell me now, and I'll stop recruiting numbers 1 through 25. I need to start recruiting numbers 65 through 130.
Right.
Because they're a different number than 1 through 25.
Right.
That's the truth of the matter. And if you want us to be good, which we 3 are lucky to be at places where women's basketball is really important. It is. And our administrations have obviously invested in us, as Coach was talking about, and we've proven them right. I mean, the proof's in the pudding. But that's the truth of the matter. If we're all going to continue to try to compete for national championships, which I'm telling you, at Texas, that's all they care about.
Right.
Then if we're going to live in that neighborhood, it's going to take this number.
Stay there.
Now, if we don't have that, well, then don't hold me to that, because
expectations.
I can't live there. I got to live over here.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then I'll stop wasting my time, and my staff will stop wasting their time recruiting in that neighborhood, because we ain't getting that kid.
Yeah.
And that, unfortunately, for us, and I believe it for all 3 of us, we're still, again, I've watched her teams from afar. I live with her. I believe we are too far down. I won't speak for Coach, but I'm too far down the road to change. We are about relationships. Like, my staff works really hard in recruiting. We are about relationships. Yes, at some point in the recruiting process, we're going to talk about a number. That is very true. But I still believe in women's basketball, there is parents that are entrusting you with their daughter. I don't think at the end of the day, a number is going to trump whether they think you're going to take care of their kid or not.
Right.
I don't think you can put a value, a number. Like, I got kids of my own. There's no number that they're worth. They are the number's infinite.
Right.
And so for us, we work really hard on the relationship piece, this is today's world.
Yep.
This is what we live in. And again, I'm so fortunate to have Miss Lisa, because she kind of keeps me within that range that we have to live in. I mean, it's not there is an end to it.
Yeah, regardless of the money, you don't coach the money. You're coaching the end. You don't even think about the money. You really don't even think about the money when you're coaching, because it's look, sound, feel. Like, something looks, sounds, or feels off. I'm too old to not say anything, good or bad. Good or bad.
Right.
Like it's.
Well, we're just too far down the road.
Yes,
what we've done and how we've done it has been successcill.
Yes.
Like, I wouldn't know how to do it any other way.
Ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, there's some things I won't. I'm not dealing. I mean, I know that I'm not fighting. Like, I'm not fighting the social media piece. That's how they make their money, right? I'm not fighting that piece. They need their phones. I think they would be worse without their phones.
You pop up on the TikTok every now and then with them.
Well, why not? You gotta meet them where they are. You gotta meet them where they are.
That's right.
You
That's
gotta
right.
meet them where they are.
That's right.
But we're not coaching the money.
Yeah.
Like, we gotta offer the money. We gotta build a roster. But when it's all said and done, like I don't even think I get mad and say, you're not worth that. You're not worth that every day. Like your standards are too low for you to get that money. I don't even think I think about those things. It's just if your standards low today, we got to get you to your standard.
Mm-hmm.
Money doesn't come into play.
Right.
Money only comes into play. You got to sit down with them, and they say yes or they say maybe. If they say maybe, they're shopping it all to somebody else, and you have to deal with that aspect of it. So I like it though. I like the challenge of figuring it out. The challenge of,
Putting the team together.
putting a team together and I'm a believer in this. I'll let a good recruit go, right? Not have a good time, have a circle back. They're cheaper that way.
The discount.
Second time, they're cheaper.
Yeah.
They're cheaper because they're not getting what they want.
Yep.
They're not they're getting closer to trying to be a pro. And then we're like, oh, okay, well, I stacked it. Let me go get the skill set. Let me go get
The
this
mindset.
knowledge and mindset so I can have some longevity in the league.
I love it.
Yeah, I think that the key factor is how do we stay competitive, adjust in the new landscape, and stay mission-minded at the same time. And I think we're all figuring it out as we go, but I think there's some non-negotiables for me. The standard of excellence can't change. So the landscape has changed, so I got to adapt. And I do, Don, I think you're brilliant at meeting people where they are. And it's been an inspiration to me. And I think so we have to be willing to adapt. But the standard can't change. The standard is the standard. And so now, though, how do you do that? Because money does bring in a different thing you're competing with from a value standpoint.
Yeah.
An entitlement standpoint. Where'd you get your value from? And so for me, the big challenge is, I agree with Don that there's more pluses than minuses. It's challenging. I think there's things we have to guard against, but we can't complain about it. And then when it comes and these student athletes are getting these opportunities and then, change the script, so to speak.
Right.
So I think it's just really important that we find ways to be competitive in the landscape. I think we do need structure in this area too. Like, what does a salary cap really mean? Well, it means something different at every place, in every conference. And so what could that look like? But also, how do we stay mission-minded and really coach people's hearts? Coach Wooden, I had the unbelievable opportunity to be mentored by him for 15 years. And one of the things he told me was, remember, Corey, you're not coaching people's jump shots, you're coaching people's hearts. But he would say, but if you coach their hearts really well, usually their jump shot ends up pretty good too. And for me, add money or not, I just have to remind myself I'm still coaching people's hearts.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And for the record, like, we talk to each other
Yeah.
for the greater good of our game. Like,
I called her at the Final Four and said, hey, do you think this kid's worth that? I did.
because we're
And it's together.
we are in it together. Like, of course we want to give young people their worth, but sometimes that number is high and the production is low.
Amen. It's true.
Jack and I both played AAU and have put our kids through AAU. I think the landscape looks a lot different than it used to. Do we need to rethink what our youth basketball system looks like? Anybody could take that.
Let me pray about that. Amen. Yes. I just think that we got to look at the whole what's happening in our world. What's happening internationally, what's happening in the pros, the NBA, the WNBA, and look at the trends of where our game is going. And I think then we have to go look back to how are we training our kids up to be ready for the trends of where the game is going.
Yep.
And so I think there's way more good than bad in the system. But I do think if we're going to continue to lead in the U.S., especially on the women's side, where we have such a long tradition, just like the men have experienced, the gap has
it's closed.
closed, and the gap is closing for the women too. And so I think how we structure youth leagues, how we bring the joy of the game. There's a lot of competition for youth sports, and volleyball, I think for the first time had as many or more participants in the women's side in the youth leagues as basketball. So I think that, we do need to really look at where are the trends of the game from an international perspective as well as a pro perspective, and then reverse engineer how we equip our young people in the grassroots level in youth basketball.
Because a lot of them are more concerned with what the game can do for them than loving the game.
Yeah.
Like we saw when we grew up, all we had was outside parks and playing basketball.
Yeah.
We couldn't afford trainers. We couldn't
Right.
afford other gyms. We had to
Just
deal
hooped.
with what was in front of us.
Yeah. And
Now
you
they
learned
have
a
so
whole
many
lot, didn't you?
options. They fall in love to what the game can give them instead of falling in love with the game of basketball. I tell kids all this, y'all don't understand, like, we played basketball for 18, 19 years for free.
Yeah.
Just because you love the game.
Maybe got some shoes.
To get to a point where we can make money, you know what I mean? So
And
the
they don't
time
play
has
pickup.
changed. Yeah, they don't.
Right.
none of
They
that
don't
no
play
more.
pickup.
Yeah.
Do you guys see it on the women's side? Because again, I coach and have kids and pay attention on the men's side. I feel like this generation is very skilled, but they lack the IQ and don't know how to play without the ball and all that. Do you guys feel that on your side as well?
Yeah.
They don't play enough
Pickup.
pickup.
Period.
Like,
Or one-on-one.
You learn toughness. You learn gotta have thick skin. You learn to maneuver, what works, what doesn't work. You know, you learn the trash talking. You learn all of those things while you're playing pickup. Like our first championship team never played pickup, like in the summer.
That's crazy.
I remember what
But
got.
that's competition.
Yeah.
Like if you're competitive, you gon' hey,
That's how you work on your game.
Well,
That's how you know
yes.
whatever you're working on works.
yes.
There's a great story with the NBA runs at UCLA in the summer.
I was about to go there, but go ahead,
know?
take it. Take
Okay,
it.
well, I mean, Earl Watson has this great story where one of his teammates from college was coming to him and saying, "Hey, I get to the last cut in the league and I keep getting cut. How come you always make? You've been in the league. You weren't a 5-star guy, and you've been in the league 12, 13 years. How'd you do that?" He goes, "I'll tell you, you'll stick on a team when you can do one thing." And he goes, "Well, what is it?"
Stay on the court in the
And
men's
he
gym.
goes, "You got to go and win 3 games in a row." Is that right?
Stay on the center court at
Stay
the
on the
men's gym.
center court. Stay on the center court means you keep winning, and you can't, and you can do it without scoring. And so that's what Earl knew how to do. Is he would play on the center court,
On his roll.
and he would look around and go, "Who's on my team? What do I have? And I'm going to make sure we win, and I don't ever have to shoot." And tell me if I got that wrong, but I just think how you can affect winning looks like so many
different
other
ways.
ways. And when you
Caring.
learn that,
Caring can affect the game.
yeah, totally.
Diving for a loose ball, a
Playing
tip.
hard.
Like just caring. I don't see them care enough.
That's where I was going with it. I mean,
Don't tell Texas to care tomorrow.
Yeah.
Though.
It's terms. Like young people have terms and conditions on, how they see things, right?
the
And it's
entitlement.
off.
The
It's a little off
entitlement.
now. It's a little-
Entitlement is scary.
Yes, it's
Entitlement
it's
is
a little
scary.
off because they got no depth to it. Like the pickup part just really gets me.
Yeah, me too.
You learn depth. You learn about all those things that you need. How to see if your stuff works.
Yeah.
Like, and then you can really rely on that. Like we don't know. Like Raven's been in the gym all summer long, right? All summer long. Well, Raven feels like she should be able to see her stuff every game. Like she should score every game. But if you haven't scored every game for a certain part of your college career, it's going to be up and down
Don't
until you
click like that. Yeah.
until you figure it out.
On your rhythm.
But just because you're not scoring, it can't impact the other parts
Of your
that
game.
are so valuable to your game. So, and I just tell her, trust
Well, and listen,
your work. Trust your work. Just trust your work. You put it in, it's done already.
Yeah.
It's done. You did it. Over. Trust it on a daily basis.
I was just going to add to that with I think if you don't put in that work and that creativity that happens, they end up coming into your season wanting to treat it like a scientific formula instead of an art project or a painting to paint.
Yeah.
And I don't think basketball is a scientific formula.
No.
And I think if you haven't failed and been creative or, I want to try that move I've been working on, and you don't do that and pick up in the summer, you're not ever going to do it
never
when the
had a
lights are,
confidence to do it.
no, the lights are bright. And so, I
You're
just,
gonna do it. It's just not gonna look good.
well, that's true. That's true. That is
Blow that
very
whistle.
true.
it's not gonna look
No.
good.
So
blow
I
that
just think
whistle.
you losing the whole fun of it, and why play it like you're in a lab? Let's
Yeah.
play it like you're having exquisite painting.
I think that was one of my biggest gifts, and the reason why I was able to play 15 professionally was because of the men's gym in the summertime, and coming in there as an 18-year-old playing against Kobe and Paul and T-Mac and Shaq and you name it. we may think we're doing our thing, but this is where we're trying to go, and look what they're doing. You know what I mean? So I just think that the pickup, I mean, and again, I'm a dad too, so it's just like I have to call around and get the gym and, hey, hit all your homeboys and tell them I'll pay for the gym for 2 hours and you guys just go get everyone you can to play. Like we found the gym, we found a park, we found somewhere to play, but now it's almost like you really have to spoon feed them. And then one more thing I'll say as a coach, getting high school kids ready for the pros, everyone thinks they have to score. And I'm just like, there's so many more ways to get recruited outside of scoring, because a lot of you guys scoring 20 points may not be even an option on your college team. So how can you affect the game if the best thing you can do isn't working? If the best thing you can do on the court isn't working, how else can you affect the game? So just kind of to trigger their mind and spark their mind to think that there's just so much more to whatever your specialty is. If I take that away tonight, how can you still help me win a game?
And the landscape with the NBA is too, like, they want one-dimensional guys that's good at one thing. So don't think you're just gonna come in there and shoot all the balls, because these got guys that's getting paid to do shooting. You got a guy getting paid to rebound. So you're not gonna be able to do all that. You gotta find out what you're good at, be a starter, a role, and they don't understand that now.
Yeah.
Coach Staley, the Knicks reached out to you. How did that go, and what was that process? What was that process like?
We would have fell out if I used it.
Well, one, I've known Leon and World Wide West for 30 years.
Yep.
Like, Leon called me and I'm like, "What's up, Leon?" This is how he was like, "Hey, thinking about, I want to bring you in the interview." I'm like, "Come on, Leon, stop." I did. This is exact. Come on, like he was like, "No, I'm serious. So I had to go to New York for something, and I told him, "Hey, I'm gonna be in New York." He's like, "Come to my apartment. Let's talk a little bit." And he was like really serious about it. I was like, "Well, how did you come to put me on your list?" And he showed me the book. He showed me the list of coaches. He just said, basically, you have what we need. You're collaborative with people. Like, we need that in the front office. We need that. We need our basketball in our front office, to be integrated and work collaboratively. And then we set up a meeting to do the interview. Did the interview, it was 6 hours. It was whiteboard. It was just talking and how you get players to play at a high level. Mm-hmm. And I actually asked them some questions, and I thought the questions that I asked them, they really didn't know the answers, because it's not a normal question for them. Like, how would me being the Knicks head coach affect your job? Mm-hmm. Being a woman, being a Black woman, because you're gonna be asked questions that you never had to answer.
Right.
Because again,
First time coach.
A 3-game losing streak, 5-game losing streak, it's different if I'm the coach.
Absolutely.
Than with a male coach. Mm-hmm. It happens all the time in the league. Mm-hmm. They're not asked certain questions. They're not, it's about can they coach or not. Mm-hmm. Like, it would be more about a female coach. It would be more about anything other than, is she qualified? Is she, like, all of those things, not their norm. So I don't think they were ready for that. And I do think that if you're gonna hire a female coach, you have to plan for that. Mm-hmm. It's not you interview them, oh, they have the job. And then you're planning as you're doing it. To me, it doesn't work that way. You gotta have the mindset to actually really get behind a female coach and give her what she needs to be successful.
It would have been a lot you had to deal with that they didn't have a wall up for. Mm-hmm. Like, especially with dealing with the media space. So I understand exactly what you're saying.
All of that.
Yeah.
Yep.
How you gonna handle her first argument with a teammate? You know what I'm saying? With a player, all that type of stuff. Yeah.
Stars and all of that.
We appreciate everyone's time. Last question of the day, and I'll start with you, Vic. If a high school kid is watching this, or even maybe another kid at a program, what is one piece of advice you would give them?
I think listen to the podcast.
I like that.
There's been a lot of information. Coach Close and Don, they're just, they've been doing it a long time. I've been doing it 41 years. I think, the advice that's been given within the context of this whole thing, we've talked about a lot of things that for an 18-year-old, I think they can go off of. But I think the biggest thing, again, is I know you can get caught up in some things, but you need to stay grounded with what's really important. Be somewhere where you feel like you're going to be developed. Be somewhere where you're going to be loved. Be somewhere where you're going to have great role models, great mentors as a young woman. And I think both of these coaches, myself, we're at places where I feel like, kids are going to get that. And for me, my daughter played for me. And when she was, in high school, she could go a lot of places, won a lot of games. I could have cared less about that. I wanted her to be somewhere where she was going to have great role models, female role models, great mentors, and be developed and be taken care of. Because at the end of the day, we have people's children. We have their daughters. And so, that's my advice. And the rest will come. I mean, you have your whole life, but the next 4 years are really important. They're really important. And, to be at one of our places, and there's a lot of places around the country that are really good. I think, that's where you got to really trust. You're gonna have to trust somebody. Some mom and dad's gonna have to trust, a coach. You got to trust somebody, and so, do your homework and get to know people. Again, I think for us, it's still about relationships. At the end of the day, yeah, man, you watch any of our teams, man, our teams they play hard. They play really hard. I have played against coaches' teams. We've scrimmaged each other in the early start. Obviously, I've had to coach against her and play her teams, and our teams play so hard. And I think when the game's over, I think all three of us, if that's what they said about our team, man, you got a tough, physical, aggressive basketball team, I think we'd probably be good. And that don't say anything about your jump shot.
Nope. Mindset.
But I think if that's what they say about our teams, I'm good. I'm going to play her tomorrow. Whatever happens, when the game's over, if I go to the locker room and go, man, we played our guts out, I'm good. I'm good. We have to play our guts out, when we play teams like this. And obviously playing South Carolina every year when I was at Mississippi State, now at Texas, baby, you better play your guts out or it ain't going to be much fun. And we're going to have to play our guts out tomorrow or it ain't going to be much fun. Coach has got a great team. So I think that's my thought process and my message, because, again, you're going to have a lot of people in your ears, and you got to be able to sift through some of that, and you need some guidance.
Coach Staley?
He said it at the end. Trust. You got to be able to trust who you're entrusting your career with. Like, really trust them, and it's not. You just can't put the onus on the coach, right? It is a relationship. You're in a relationship with your coach and coaches. That means when something doesn't feel right to you, you got to be able to speak up, because we can't read your minds. Although we can meet you where you are on any given day, but you got to trust that person enough to say, hey, this doesn't sound right to me. I'm not feeling right. Can you help me? Like, you have to be able to do that. And I think part of that is getting to know who you are, your authentic self, your vulnerable self, your downfalls, right? What your strength and your weaknesses, all of that as a person. And that is the time that is growth time. You're making the most transformational, these are the most transformational years of your life in college. Absolutely. And if you can't have a conversation with your college coach about what's happening with you, good, bad, or indifferent, and I'll just say this, young people, we've been coaching so long that there are no new problems. There are no new problems. Like, we've never seen, 100 times we've dealt with it all. Promise. So just bring it to us. Don't be embarrassed. Somebody's been through it. Somebody's have been through it.
Let us help you.
We're your biggest resource. And if you don't, and I do think that can help with some what's happening in the transfer portal.
Agreed.
Part of that is just miscommunication. Misconception, and untruths. Like imagine like made up stuff.
Yeah.
Coach?
I think bottom line is what really lasts. You know, like I think about if I was coaching your boys, what would you want from me? You know, and you would want me to give them something that lasts. And, you know, I think that the reality is the average Division I basketball player spends over 3,500 hours in their sport over 4 years, and only 4% of those are in games. 4%. But what's recruiting? All about outcomes and the 96%, and now money. And I think that it's just really got to be, I had a UCLA men's basketball alum and our mental conditioning coach at the time, Joshua Medcalf, come into our team and say, what are the things that are going to be with you for the rest of your life from these 4 years? And I remember at that time, Jordan Canada said, I want a banner, baby. I want that banner to be in the gym. And he goes, man, I can't wait to be at that banner ceremony. But the reality is banners hang in gyms. And then someone else said, hey, I want a ring, baby. And I want that ring. I want it shiny. And he said, I cannot wait for that to be a byproduct of your process and your work. But rings collect dust. So the only two things that will stay with you for the rest of your life from these 4 years is who you become and who you impact. You get to keep those forever. And so when I just think about the advice of that is just whatever you're going to do, make decisions based on something you want to have for a long time. Because otherwise the outcomes are just a distraction.
I love it. Well, thank you guys. Thank you for the Players Era for hosting us. Make sure you guys tune in to the tournament on TNT, True TV, and HBO Max.
Thank you.
See all these teams in action. Best of luck to everybody, and thank you for tuning in. That's a wrap. All the Smoke. You can catch this on, DraftKings Network and All the Smoke Productions YouTube. We'll see you guys next week.